Yes, now, Honorable, I would like to bring you a little bit back to the road network.
Mm.
Uh, Ideally, roads are worked on depending on where the production areas and centers that bring money to our GDP.
Mm.
And tourism is one of these big sectors that brings this $1.6 billion worth of revenue that comes from tourism, and that's a huge, huge, huge
True, true,
amount of
true.
money. There are some of these tourism sites that have deplorable roads. What's the
Mm.
ministry planning? For
Uh,
instance, Queen Elizabeth National Park.
we understand.
Yes.
It is very true. The tourism sector is bringing a lot of money to this government. And according to the planning, last time we were with the union officials, with the limited funds, of course, we have in the country, this pandemic has done a lot of impact in terms of reducing funds in the government. We have a plan until 2030, how UNRWA is planning to improve on those roads. However, some tourism sectors, the roads have been improved, and you see sometimes the vehicles or the people going to visit those national parks, they have these small vehicles, and at least those vehicles can be able to maneuver on the first class maram. Most of those national parks have first class maram, the road connecting inside there. And the government had first considered, let us first deal with the highway roads where we have cargo moving, we have passengers moving. Since these tourism roads inside, of course, the national park, they have first class maram, and when you have to construct them, we must coordinate with the wildlife authority, so that sometimes we relocate some of these wild animals, because you cannot construct a road. When an elephant comes and sleeps in the road, the worker must stop the whole day. You must come and beat it. So
Yes.
we must come up with a design with the ministry concerned, so that in this specific area, relocate those animals to another side, such that we can work on the road, even involve their stakeholders, provide security, because for them they're expert, they know how to handle their animals.
Right.
Because we can be working the roads, and now you see these animals attacking the workers, but those arrangements are there on some given roads. As soon as they agree, all those things involve finance. As soon as the arrangements and everything is made, we shall have most of the roads being done. But now we are almost completing the critical oil roads,
Yes.
which were the major ones. Now we embarking also on the minor repairs and major repairs of the broken roads you saw yesterday in Kasesa and Hoya. Then we also combine with the national park roads, where you can have our tourists moving on a good course, even improving accommodation. So those are the things we're planning on, and we think with the plan they have as UNRWA, and the cabinet will support them to have this one improved.
Well,
Um,
that would be such a welcome development that
mm,
these roads are worked on, because it becomes a challenge,
it is true.
and it also has a PR component of it.
And
Then there's also the roads to agriculture, heavily producing crops. In your own constituency in Uganda,
it's
is
very
the
true.
West, you have had issues with roads, and yet there's a lot of production.
Mm.
Uh, what strategic direction as a ministry are you providing to
Mm.
these productive roads? Because there are some roads that have gone to places and they use them to dry cassava, and there isn't so much production, and there isn't, but some very highly productive,
Mm.
and then the farmers find themselves in a lot of costs in the farm value chain.
Government actually, government do appreciate the input of the farmers in feeding this country, and for us we stay in village with inclusive. I know you're also born of
Yes.
a village community and those things.
Okay.
The government has come up to bring a special component of which some people have already benefited, including like my district, Kakumi and other districts, is that component what we are calling agriculture cluster roads. There are specific funds and donation given to the Ministry of Agriculture to manage some of the roads by themselves.
Okay.
They put out what we call first class maram, such that these people can transport their agricultural products, they can transport their crops to the main road. And in my constituency, I think we have so far got about, in my constituency, we so far have about 6 roads in my constituency only.
Yes.
So when you see in other districts, they have that component, agriculture cluster, where we give them mandate to Ministry of Agriculture to have funds with supervision from UNRA and the Ministry of Works.
Yes.
We have these roads done so far as per now. Meanwhile, as the government thinks of improving and provision of more funds, we have also these roads tarmacked. But we are so good that most of the districts, regions,
Yes.
at least the highways have been worked upon, they are tarmacked. Apart from the connecting roads from village to the highways.
Okay.
So we have given a mandate to Ministry of Agriculture with support of the funds they have, that component of agriculture cluster roads. Work is going on. Last financial year they worked on some of them, a number of them, even this financial year. So that one we shall see when at least we have first class Maram roads.
So the Ministry of Agriculture identifies the roads.
Yeah.
You provide the finance.
Exactly.
All right.
Identifies the roads, we provide finance through government and other donors, then the roads are done.
Now, there's this whole thing that has been bogging our minds and minds of Ugandans. We in the media have been finding these challenges, and this is the area of the process of procurement. They tell you the road is at design level. The road has been procured, design, construction, and all those the processes. We find this. Don't you find the challenge in the issue of kickbacks? People who are well positioned in government sometimes know that there's a road going to pass in a certain particular area. They go and buy plots of land and they make it extremely expensive. How are you going to tackle that in your era as a minister?
Actually, that one we bring out directly. That is the point of corruption. And you see the president of Uganda is becoming allergic to corruption, usual, and this time has put a lot of efforts. That's why you see he's making unexpected suffers. Someone never expected you see him coming on board or her. He's focusing on fighting corruption to zero. You cannot be a top manager or top planner in the government. Instead of fighting and plan, the government constructs the road at the cheapest cost for Uganda by plot. Some of them even go to influence the designing of the road. The road is supposed to pass here because a relative or himself, a son, has a property this side. Now they divert the project. We have seen those things. Right. And that's why we are coming up to wake up all the teams which are supposed to supervise these projects, and also to involve the security agencies to do some investigations and intelligence. We shall not allow this one. We cannot allow it. And we are also focusing on our officers to practice some kind of professional ethics. If you are doing your design, I don't think you should go telling everyone, this is this, this is this, this is this. So we are putting a lot of efforts together as a team. We ensure that, number one, those who influence government projects, that maybe I'm here, the road should pass through me and I be compensated. And then another number two, the road is going to pass here. Someone who peeps on the project goes and tells the friends, come and construction, the government can lose a lot of money. If you get if you get such a people, and of course they are there, we get to know you, we shall get rid of them. Because if you are...
Rid of them means what? Because it's their right.
No. For example, you are here. Whatever you're covering the social media, it remains for you and your company.
Yes.
If they find you are illegally leaking some of the documents, that is a disciplinary action, isn't it? Yes. You caution these people, you can even penalize them.
Yes.
So if you find you are the category of a person who is in government, you are illegally mobilizing people, we call you and discipline you. No one is above the head of the state. If we see, we discipline you. For example, most of these ones we have seen they are in ministry appointments. But however, it is now our responsibility to first educate the people surrounding that given project. That please, if
that would be very paramount. That works because
you know, we need to look either sides. We need to look at the sides. When that one also we see it is failing, displaying these people, you can discipline someone and continue the behavior. But we also need to educate our community. If identify a given project is supposed to go in a given area, let an advanced team go, teach them the benefit of it. So that if we increase the cost of production, of this worker will delay. And maybe if you build many houses, mansions in favor of money, yes, a few people will benefit. But remember, someone in Karamoja who needs a given project, and if Karamoja is not developed, we need some products from there to come to your areas. If one person in Richmond constructs a mansion which will take 3 billion, the people in Busoga, you need money to work on the sugar cane and all that. I think these people can understand that we need to develop our country as a whole, because Uganda, it is with the people. And I think they can go away from the influence of these other people who come and buy their small land. They construct houses, and for them they lose. We can use all the ways to engage the government, the people in this government, because people understand and they want developments. Because we have got confirmation that the majority of those people who go ahead and construct buildings, they just buy this land from the local people at a very cheap price. The local people don't have money to construct. So when you tell the local person that once you sell your land at 3 million, and the other rich person comes and constructs a mansion, will take billions from the government, this project will delay. And if we are supposed to give about 100 kilometers, the government may start with 50 because it has taken most of the money in the compensation of the damaged property which they are going to demolish during the construction. We can try.
That also has a lot to do with legislation.
Exactly.
There needs to be a law in place that prohibits certain things, and because all the culpability can be only measured on what the law says.
Actually, that's why you see me, I was not in parliament by then, but I supported the idea of the president. Bringing it forward, I think, may pray he brings it back. I will be among the mobilizers to pass it. That if there is the law, I'm explaining it a bit. If we are now saying we want to construct here a water system or a road,
Public good.
yeah, and we come and value your property, we say we are giving you 200 millions. For you say, I want 600 billions. The law can give us mandate, the worker continues. Meanwhile, as the negotiation and other things,
there's something
yeah, that one
can
can be done. So if they bring it back to give us mandate as government projects to go regardless of the other things can move. We have seen people, they put programs on hold for some longer time due to their own reason.
I know even sections of roads that have not been
exactly. So if you come and you are targeting money as we negotiate, the worker moves. I will mobilize even for that bill.
Right. In NDP3, we had NDP2 rather, we had some roads that were supposed to have been constructed, and the following were the roads. We had Nakauka Kasanje, Ruwere Chuoko, Mutiana Kanoni. Those roads were not, even a single kilometer was never constructed. What is the plan? And now they come back as new projects in NDP3. Is that recycling the roads to the next level, or is it a mismatch in planning?
It's not a mismatch in planning, but you know, even yourself, you manage at the family level.
Yes.
And you have been a manager at different levels. Today you can plan, you say, this Christmas, my family, I will provide you beef, I will provide you chicken, I will take you maybe for an outing, I will do this. But during the course of the year, by the time Christmas comes, you have encountered some problems. For example, sickness, you don't invite sickness. You fall sick and you spend a lot of money in the hospital. One of your cousins come in with maybe graduation, maybe a given party, and you spend a lot of money. In the end of the day, by the time Christmas comes, money has reduced. And when money has reduced, what do? The available money, you distribute accordingly, together with your grands, your mother, your father, and your family, and you share. So this is what comes to government. Government is not only having projects in Ministry of Works and Transport. There are many projects. Farmers want to be 34, security, legislation, and all other things. And also we have other things hitting us. You saw the floods last time and they are continuous. The locusts, you saw that, you remember that scenario. The Kwekarakasa here in elections and all the other things, the wars and so many other things. So you find there's a specific budget given. But in the due course, you find even the revenue, you cannot know, you plan as you collect revenue. You find you are targeting to collect maybe 8 trillion in revenue, but Ugandans have not complied and they have collected 3. Do you kill them? Do you hunger them? No. What you do, you get the available resources, you share equally to different ministries. Now the ministry also says, okay, we had this one, but you can first put it on hold. We put it next year. Meanwhile, we work on these other ones. I hope the people should be patient and they are trying to see all the ways possible to see that all those projects are worked on. At least you know you are in pipeline, but there are those ones who are not yet in the pipeline. But we just need to be patient and we mobilize our community. Those who are supposed to pay taxes, they pay. When you see any kind of form of corruption which is making the government lose money, don't wait for security, don't wait for public servants. It has combined as a whole. And also, we should support our government. You know, when you don't appreciate someone who is giving you, you demoralize that person. We need to keep our ears away from those liars who keep lying. The president has not done things. The government has not done things. We need to appreciate, because we know this NRM government, people love it, but we have crooks of people, the small group, which comes in really to buy the minds of the Ugandans. Okay. So we need to do with them, focus and appreciate the government. When we support the government, we shall see everything moving on well, and we shall have all those things done.
Talking about your document, I would like to, because you know, you can even see from our conversation, it has been road, a lot of
exactly.
roads. But there are more modes of transport. There's the water transport, for instance. There is, of course, we talked about air transport. There is a lot we could do with the water transport. I do not know why somebody should sit on the road for that long when they can board a water, they can board a ship or and move from Luzira to Jinja, to Masese in Jinja.
Actually,
what are your plans in that direction? Are we seeing ourselves using the water transport?
Yeah, the government so far through the Ministry of Works has already invested a lot of money. The other day I was in Port Bell. Right now we are doing the renovation of MV Pamba. MV Pamba, since it got involved in an accident with MV Kabalega some years back, they're renovating it. They've invested in money. We have some donation from Mango Tree. We are going to put it back on the road. And last week you saw the MV Kawa for the last 15 years, a lot of years, they have not been using that route to transport fuel. And you saw we encouraged these fuel suppliers in the country to come and they test our route. Yes. Instead of getting all days traveling on the road, transporting fuel, it just takes 2 days, 1 day to transport fuel to this country. But remember, this system, it is hand in hand with the railway transporting system. So we are renovating the railway and we are rehabilitating it, repairing most of the things. Meanwhile, also we repair majority of the ferries which we have, and we run this system. We're also setting the policy which is regulating the water transport system. Accident had become common. You have seen these ones. Yes, and we are improving on the safety measures so that when we educate these people and repair the ferries which are available, we can go back to sensitize the community to use the water transport system.
The standard gauge railway, what is happening in that area, and also repairing the existing, the older rail. What progress are we having in that direction?
The government is doing all that one very well, but you know, of course, everything goes hand in hand with the finance. And with SGR standard gauge railway, the problems we have encountered, as mentioned, compensating the land owners. People need the money more than welcoming the project.
Because they don't understand the project.
Exactly. So we are progressing on very well with the government putting in money. You know, the neighboring countries. You saw last time all the presidents came here because we need this, the standard gauge railway to be worked on. It will save us a lot, and it will minimize the cost of maintaining the transport system and the work system. It is moving on well, and there is a separate board which was contracted to do that work, which was appointed. It is moving on well. However, we are also planning, I think from next week, we can involve the community, educate them the benefit of this one. Majority of them are just hearing it like a dream.
Yeah, and that's the whole PR company.
Yeah, they don't know what exactly it means. So we are putting efforts with my senior ministers so that we move as Minister of Works and Transport in the field, sensitize these people. We even live in some other teams so that they aid our work to move on very well. They understand it better, and they help us to get this work done very fast.
Looking at the cost-benefit analysis of the standard gauge railway, close to $13 billion US. Why isn't there effort to at least revive the old rails? Because for them, you do not have to compensate anyone. That one already has.
You know,
leeway.
Uganda is growing, and the country is growing. Those days, you used to find on the street everyone putting on a Kaunda suit. But it is rare these days to get someone. Yes. Those days you could move on the road, you find everyone putting on a Gomez. But you can actually, if I'm not mistaken, you can move from here up to Entebbe if you to get someone who's putting a Gomez. So we must move with the advanced technology which we have. If we are to have things being fast, to run services at a faster rate, we need to improve. So I think the technical team, I will bring them one time to explain to the public. They have studied this one, the countries which have the same technology with standard gauge railway. It is faster more than the other old system. And if we are to go back to repair the old system, you will find we may even spend the same money or a lot of money compared to this one which we are going to do. Why do we stick to the old things? That's why it's even in ministries, the old structures, they are demolishing them. You cannot say we repair this one, when you have a small land where you need to construct a flat with different levels going up. Those days we were constructing, you find 1 acre of land occupying about 50 rooms. But nowadays you can find a very small portion of land. We construct going upward instead of going like this. So we need to go with the advanced technology which we are copying from other countries because it has worked for them. Let us not look at the cost. We can build slowly by slowly as long as the costs, the money is being used the way in phases. Okay. And we have this one.
On the swearing in, the president was celebrating you and a few others as children of Balwan, the liberator. And he was said he wanted to test you so that you can push on the vision of your parents, and your father, may his soul rest in peace, was one of the people that was very active, at least I know at a personal level. What responsibility does that put on you as an individual?
That one now, it shows me and it teaches me, and that is a challenge on my side, but we shall work. That now I should keep the clean name and the trust which the government has in the veterans. I do agree with the president, and I appreciate him for giving an opportunity to serve in this government, and we shall deliver the best. Why? You know, some of these veterans suffered in the bush. You get someone who was sleeping in the bush, risking his life. Some of them survived the bullets, and some of them went into exile. Really, if you are the one, you have slept outside for 10 years, trying to protect this Kampala, and now you are given an opportunity to develop Kampala, you will do this work with one heart. Because you don't want the government to go back in those days, the suffering you had, the suffering you had. You work with one heart, you serve the government with one heart, and always follow the things tight. So the president believes we, the children of the veterans, we have the same heart, the same mind like our parents, that we have inherited the behavior of our parents. And these parents have groomed us in the line where they want us to be. And which it is true. Yes, they have grown up, they are old, some of them, like now my late father, the time, the age they had reached on, that the sicknesses he had. So at that time, at that very level, if someone was moving 100 kilometers a day, now can move like 30. Now here we bring a substitute, the sons or the daughters.
It puts on you an extra demand.
An extra demand.
You have a responsibility.
Yeah, and we shall perform, because these parents of ours have explained a lot what they have passed through. Some of them, we have been with them, we have seen the problems. We shall perform, and let the country expect the best services out of us.
Social media is a force that we can no longer stop. It's moving, and having you people as young ministers, young legislators, how do you look at leveraging in social media, to have leverage in social media, and what is your own experience with social media?
Anyway, the way we have seen, we cannot now avoid the social media, because it is the way to go. Right now we are here, even someone who is in the garden is watching. Someone who is taking breakfast is watching. Unlike those days where social media was a bit not improved, where you could use radios. Now there is someone who cannot carry a radio on the roadside. Now we have,
when you're in your car,
yeah,
you
now we have, some cars have TVs. Now we have phones, smartphones where you can use TV. Social media, apart from a few individuals who go into that work when they forget their professional ethics. So far, social media is doing well. We have some good social media groups which are promoting government activities. For them, if it is A, they will speak A. If it is B, they will A out to B. But we have got also some groups of social media. For them, they are always looking at the negative side, which they must air out. And if the negative side is not there, they will get these positive things done. You know how you change your computers there, then you bring it out. But media is doing well, and I appreciate the work it is doing to this country, to this world. And maybe what I can encourage them, we proceed. You know, there are always some challenges in social media. We need to see how we can correct a few things, and we move on. But the experience I've had with social media, it's not a bad one. We cannot avoid it. For example, you wake up today, you're going for a given function, you find a lot of cameras. Do you chase them away? You don't. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I really, really appreciate your time. First thing in the morning on a Friday, it's not easy to catch up with that kind of appointment. We really thank you.
Okay.
And we would like to thank you for taking off from your very busy schedule. Continue to be a support as a media entity. And we would also like to request you at a personal level to follow High First Media. And all the viewers, we invite you to follow High First Media on all our social media handles, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, and www.highfirstmedia.com.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Have a pleasant weekend, and we look forward to having you many more times. On behalf of High First Media, I've been your host, Alex, and this is the